so much
onto
for
the
having me.
podcast. You're so knowledgeable as well. And also following you on the socials, you had an event and you're talking about PFAS. What is this PFAS problem in North Carolina? Really enjoyed watching you and talking to the public and interacting with people as well. What's this PFAS problem in North Carolina?
This is huge. Forever Chemicals. I mean, we're really a battleground state for this contamination. And, you think, hey, I can drink water out of the tap. We live in America, right? Well, for many people, and, from a third to a half of drinking water systems in our state, elevated levels of these forever chemicals.
Interesting.
And, some of it, especially the Cape Fear River Basin, so Fayetteville, Wilmington, they've seen a huge problem with this, mainly because Chemours, a subsidiary of DuPont, dumped these chemicals into the river completely unchecked for decades at a time. But it's not, it's also here too. There's elevated levels in Chapel Hill, in Burlington, in drinking water systems all over our state. And, it's something that can spread through the air from plants like that Chemours plant. It's in the water. It's also in a ton of consumer products. So, when we wash our clothes that are Gore-Tex that have these chemicals on it, or, it's in cosmetics when that flushes down the drain, it also gets into drinking water that way. So, these chemicals don't break down. They're called forever chemicals. So they build up in our bodies, in the environment. And it's just... It's been an issue for a long time getting it out of the drinking water to avoid those health impacts that include cancer, very important, but also more and more people are pushing to stop it at the source. Let's stop the pollution to prevent it from or more of it from getting in the drinking water.
Absolutely. You're blowing my mind right now with everything that's going on with this as well. What is North Carolina as a state trying to do?
Well, some critics say it's kind of about what they're not trying to do. Hold polluters accountable, put in stringent standards that would stop this pollution. The Environmental Management Commission, EMC, is basically a regulatory body that is another layer to making environmental regulations. So when the DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality, wants to, make a regulation, like say putting a limit on how much of these chemicals can go in the drinking water, the Environmental Management Commission has to approve that. And what they came up with, mainly GOP appointed board now, is that they rejected the DEQ's original plan to have, strict limits. And they said, let's come up with a PFAS minimization plan that requires companies to monitor how much PFAS they're putting in the water, come up with a plan to reduce it. But if they don't follow the plan, no penalty. How much of it they put in the water? No limit. There's no enforceable limit, no penalty, which is really causing a lot of backlash from advocates, from residents in these impacted communities, people who are paying higher water bills because the utilities had to put in a filter. It's really making people, a lot of people mad. They're saying, a lot of these critics saying that the rules as they're written allow polluters to police themselves.
Talking about what I opened with, saw you on social media. You were at an event as well. I always love when reporters are able to talk to people and face to face. You're a subject matter expert on this. What happened at that event?
It was absolutely packed, standing room only. So we're in a public comment period right now. So there's public hearings happening across the state. Interestingly, not a PFAS-specific hearing in Fayetteville, where that Chemours plant was, which was an interesting choice to me. But I went to the hearing in Raleigh. And by the way, written comments can still be accepted till June 15th if people couldn't, kind of make it to one of these hearings, but want to give feedback.
Good to know.
On it. And it was, standing room only, absolutely packed, all walks of life. Some teenagers came and spoke, seniors who, there was even a doctor who was in tears because he says this is already impacting patients.
And I've seen people die from kidneys of the cancer, from cancers of the kidney, testicle, fertility problems. It just keeps going on. So it's time to put some teeth many of these regulations and hold polluters accountable and do what's right for my patients. Sorry.
So really emotional testimony. I mean, one woman lost her child and was after being exposed to these chemicals and thinks they're connected.
And you have the power to protect my son, to protect all of our children, to protect unborn children in this room. You have an obligation. Do your jobs.
So the wide theme, though, is, impact, illness, the health impacts. A lot of people really fearful about that. And cost. Why should we have to pay to clean up a mess that polluters made? Those were kind of two major themes. And some said directly, we need you to do your job. These regulations or these rules aren't even rules. We want more. Now, the Environmental Management Commission says that cost was a big consideration here, that more strict standards would be too much of a burden on companies to be able to comply with. And they said they looked at this as a first step to maybe stricter regulations down the road. But this plan would be till 2029. So, right, we're looking at decades of exposure now and, lots of science that shows these chemicals are harmful. A lot of people are saying, why wait? Why delay these regulations except to help industry, not have that cost of adding filters and things like that.
Totally understand. And again, looking at our notes that we have together as well with this, the experts had an issue with this plan. Talk to me about that, because it's so crazy. You present the plan and then that plan may not be the best plan that we have on the table here. What's going on there?
So, yeah, really interesting point. I mean, and I'm saying PhDs, water engineers, scientists all spoke at this hearing.
These are people that know what's going on.
They're people that really that know what's going on. And one was Detlef Kanape. And he was one of the scientists that originally discovered that pollution in the Cape Fear River nearly a decade ago. Discovered that Comores had been dumping chemicals into the water.
Wow.
Otherwise, I mean, they might still not know that that's happening without his work. And a good thing, or something that he pointed out that I thought was a really strong point, is the purpose of these rules is to reduce pollution in our waterways, right? To decrease industrial discharges of these chemicals. Well, the Environmental Management Commission, from the original proposal, reduced it down to just 3 chemicals that they would even be asking companies to monitor. 2 of those chemicals aren't even made anymore. Nearly 2 decades ago, PFOA and PFOS, these 2 chemicals, have been phased out. So no one's making them, no one's using them. It's very unlikely they would see any discharges into the water because they're phased out. I mean, they should be included, I think, in most PFAS regulations because there's a strong body of evidence about how harmful they are. And, but if the point is to reduce pollution, reduce discharges, why not pick chemicals that are currently in use? And the only one that would be is Gen X.
That makes so much sense. Well, we're short on time here. And guys, if you guys are interested, I want to go to a meeting now. I need to learn so much more about this topic as well. Thank you for energizing me. Thank you for energizing the public about this and informing. Where can people find this reporting? Where can people find you online?
So I'm at That Reporter on Instagram, That Reporter Liz on TikTok. So I'll be posting about all this stuff. You can hear some of the testimony too. And then on WRAL.com, we have more information just if you want to look into what the plan is, how to give feedback and all that stuff. You can just search PFAS on our website.
Love it. Thank you so much.